Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, recruiting animal here on November 1st, 2017. You know, I myself was a guest this week on someone else's show, the Alex Moyle Show. In case you don't know what a moyle is, it's somebody who performs ritual circumcisions. Now, I don't know if that's what his family background is, but that's what I know a moyle to be. Anyway, let's put that aside. I want to tell you what it's like to be interviewed, okay? And here it is. It's fun, but it's a very humbling experience, too. For instance, I'm going to give you just a couple of examples of what I mean. Alex knew that I wanted to talk about my ebook, which you can get for free at fearlesscoldcalls.com. fearlesscoldcalls.com. So around the 20-minute mark of the show, he just gave me the floor. You know, I was free to talk about it as much as I wanted to. And you know what? I had a lot to say. But I wasn't ready for the opportunity he gave me. I didn't know what to do. I was saying to myself, how detailed does he want me to be? And I was confused. I choked. You know why? My problem, really, I hadn't structured a good 5-minute overview of the book, or I hadn't structured a detailed discussion of any particular ideas that I could use, just throw in there when I had the opportunity. I wasn't ready, so I want you to take away two things from this little intro, okay? If you prepare for an interview, you have to structure 1-minute talks and 5-minute talks about the things that interest you. So if there's a gap, if there's a dead zone, if the interviewer throws the floor open to you, you've got something to shove in there, okay? Second thing, you've got to be willing to fail. Everybody says it, but it's true, okay? This was my second interview this year, and the last time I made even more mistakes than I did this time, right? Doesn't feel good when you make mistakes, but if you want to be a good speaker, you got to put yourself in a position to see your shortcomings and learn from them. So you've got to go on shows like this one, the Animal Show, to discover the things that you have to work on. And here's another tip for recruiters. Your candidate in a real recruiting situation, your candidate is not a professional speaker. So just like me, she might not know exactly what kind of answer you want. So it can help if you've got a lot of specific questions to guide her when she chokes. Don't let her struggle out there in the wind, okay? But I'm going to hope that our guest today doesn't choke and depend on me to save him. On Jerry! What show is it?
The Recruiting Animal Show!
Thank you, Jerry. I also want to thank my sponsors, Martin Snyder, the boss over at PC Recruiter, the Swiss Army knife of recruiting software, and Nin Tran, Nin with an H at the end. He's the COO of HireTool, HireTual. If you're an executive in the Toronto Board of Education, you can't be the COO because they banned the word chief. They thought it was not diverse or insulting or something like that. I don't get it, but it's true. Nin Tran could not be the COO of HireTool if he was here. Okay, but anyway, HireTool, in case you don't know, it is the super duper sourcing tool. And finally, our newest sponsor, Nick Livingstone, the CEO. He couldn't call himself that, of Honeit, Honeit, the online interview technology. I was going to say online interview tool, but I think he's fussy about the terminology, and he's paying. Okay, I also want to give a shout-out to Sister Allison Cruz. She listens to the show while she's running, and I kind of like that. So does Nick Mazur sometimes. So shout out to you, Nick, if you're listening. If there's any other animal show runners out there, let me know. I'll mention you too. Carla Porter told me she doesn't run, but she wants me to mention her name. Carla! I don't forget you. Okay. Now, Jerry isn't here today. He's out hunting in South Dakota or wherever, and that's good because I don't think he'd like today's show because it's not a recruiter again, okay? The guest today, I don't even know how to say his last name. It's spelled McDiarmid, McDiarmid, but I think it's probably pronounced McDermott. Billy McDiarmid, are you there? Are you here? Can you help us with that?
Yeah, well done. It's McDiarmid, so you were better than most animals. So.
Oh, good. Canada's a Scottish country. Maybe that's why I've got an advantage. Anyway, Billy's Twitter address, if you want to criticize him, and I hope you do during the show, it's Billy, Billy. I like that. He's not William. He's a man of the people. He's a regular guy. But his last name is hard. McDiarmid. It's not McDiarmid like a cow. It's McDiarmid like a diary or something like that. Anyway, Billy, I looked at your pictures when I was preparing for the show, and you've got a very round head. I don't know if anyone has ever mentioned that to you before. And
I think it's a fat head more than a round head. Yeah, probably fat more than round.
No, I don't know you yet. I'll find out during the show if you're a fat head. But physically, you've got a round head, okay? And that should make it easy to draw good caricatures of your face. So I'm going to advise you to take advantage of that gift. A gift from God to help you brand yourself, okay? Because I noticed that you don't have any drawings of yourself. You've just got regular pictures, okay? So keep that in mind. Here's a survey question I've been asking to start off. I want to know if you've been aware of any cases of sexual harassment at work during the course of your career. I don't need the dirty details. I just want to know if it exists, okay? Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, it does. It does exist. It exists. I would say particularly in recruitment, it's been something that I've observed. Both working in agency, most of the time I've worked in recruitment agencies. In the past, I've observed inappropriate behaviour at Christmas night outs. I've observed inappropriate behaviour.
Let me just get. You know what? You didn't have to talk. Oh, hold on. Listen to me. Just get to the point. You're blabbing here for a minute before you say, at a Christmas party I saw someone pinch somebody. Is that what you're trying to tell me? What kind of sexual? Yes, you've seen sexual harassment. How common is it? Common, yes, or not common?
I would say, in my experience, it's not that common, but that's just in my experience.
Okay. That's all. I don't have any experience with it at all. I just really have to say I've never been really aware of it. We had a boss once who used to like to put his arm around this is for receptionist shoulders. I don't know if she liked it or not, but her mother worked there too, and that was a long time ago. But that's the max. I don't consider that the worst thing in the world. So I just want to know what other people have seen. Okay, like you saw people kissing under the mistletoe or something. You didn't like it. It sounds like. Okay, let me see. You just moved to a new job at Candidate ID. Am I right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to give you a standard recruiting question. Why did you want to leave your old job? Why weren't you happy there?
I've worked with Adam for a few years on and off. I was part of the advisory board at Candidate ID. The product worked for me working in my old business. I ran the product.
You're not answering the question. It was a trick. It was a trick, and you dodged it. You handled it well. You didn't say, I hated my old boss. I couldn't stand to get out of there. You did it. You did the right thing. It's frustrating when you ask a question and get someone to give a different answer. I hate it, but you did the thing that everybody advises. Don't badmouth your old.
I don't hate my old boss. I love my old boss, but I also like doing something different. So.
Okay. What do you do? Okay.
I run the project.
Wait. You have never been a recruiter, and yet you're an expert in everything about recruiting, according to your LinkedIn profile. You've never been a recruiter. Am I right?
I have been a... Nope, you're wrong. I was started off in 2005. I was recruiting financial advisors, recruiting mortgage brokers. I then moved over and ran the marketing and technology in a recruitment agency.
How long were you a hands-on recruiter? How long were you a hands-on recruiter?
I've been a hands-on recruiter for about, out of my 12 years working in the industry, for about 4 years.
Okay, good enough. Okay, so your title now is... your title now is Head of Client Success. Now, I don't know why you let them hang that meaningless title on you, but I'm going to assume that your previous title, which says you were in charge of recruitment, marketing, sourcing, and technology, is what you're really doing. Head of Client Success. Everybody's the Head of Client Success. It's a joke. Okay, what's your real job?
Project manager. So when we've got new clients that come on board and existing clients that work with us, I manage all the projects from start to finish. Help them set up their campaigns, help them get it out there, make sure it works for them.
Enough.
If it doesn't work,
fine. Project manager, another meaningless title. Okay, let's forget it. He works for a company. He works for Adam W. Gordon was on a few weeks ago, called from an airport. He didn't know any better than that. Okay, and he has candidate ID, the talent pipeline. We'll get to the details on that. You had an article on your blog, which people were criticizing when I posted, criticizing rightly when I posted it on my Facebook group just this morning. You put out the user figures for all these platforms on the internet, and you said, well, LinkedIn didn't even make it because the figures were so low. And you had 2 billion users for Facebook, and Twitter even had more than LinkedIn. But really, somebody said, hey, that's apples and oranges. Facebook is full of grannies and little kids, and LinkedIn is just professionals. Why did you do that?
Look, see, when you're going to buy a car, you don't go to the place where the cars are only available 25% of the time, and that's LinkedIn's problem. So you've got to go to the places where your candidates are going to be available most of the time. I'm not saying that you don't go to LinkedIn, but I'm saying you need to think about where the availability is and where people are more likely to respond to the messages that you're sending. Identification's easy.
Hold on. Did anybody understand his answer? Come on, I missed it entirely. It's easier to contact people from their LinkedIn profiles rather than their Facebook profiles, which usually don't even have any professional information on them.
Not if they're not logged into their LinkedIn profile, and people only 1 in 4 people log into LinkedIn once a month. So if they're not logged in, then they're not going to see the message and they're not going to reply to the message. People are logged into Facebook 365 days a year, 24 hours a day.
Okay. Well, you know what? There's some of us don't depend on in-mail, so we'll see which company they're at and we'll phone them there, right? Or we'll use something like HireTool, my sponsor, or one of the other email tools. In fact, I'm going to ask you about that. You've got some interesting things about verifying emails. But anyway, so you've got 24-hour, 365 a year, 365 days a year access to people who don't list their professional profiles for the most part. Am I right about that? Is that what you're saying? Or are you saying that Facebook is a fantastic recruiting platform?
It's one of many fantastic ways of contacting your candidates. One of many.
Okay, well, which is the best ones? Where do you think people are going to get the most bang for their buck online?
Number 1 is work email. Number 2 is telephone. Number 3, Facebook. Number 4, Twitter. Number 5, LinkedIn. That's my own personal top 5.
Okay, that's how you're going to contact them, but what sites to source them? Don't make me struggle, okay? What sites are they going to go to source them? Alex asked me this week. I was the guest, and I said LinkedIn is still the primary site, although, maybe GitHub and Stack Overflow are better for technical people. What's your point of view there? Don't make me wrestle with you. You're not doing bad, but area code 310 just dropped off already. We're losing people. Come on.
My first place I go is Google. My second place I'll go to is LinkedIn. My third place I would go to would be professional directories. So if it's lawyers, I'm going to go to lawyer directories. Financial advisors, I'm going to go to financial advisor directories. Next, I'll pick up any other Google results that come in.
If you're looking for lawyers, you won't go to LinkedIn first. Is that what you're saying?
correct, because not all lawyers are on LinkedIn, but all the lawyers are on the legal directories.
Okay. Does anybody want to ask him a question so far? I seem to be, sinking. Anybody want to pitch in? No? Everybody says I never give anybody a chance. I give them tons of chances. But, when I need help, they're not there. Okay? Even if Jerry was here, he wouldn't be saying anything now. Okay. Let me see. What LinkedIn profile, though, account is the best account? I saw Garrett Chan today on Facebook, and he was bragging about he's using LinkedIn Recruiter at his new job, and he's getting access to all these people. Is LinkedIn Recruiter really better than any of the other premium accounts, or do you need it? You really need it? Because I just heard you say you'll go to Google. First. So, which LinkedIn account would you advise someone to get if they have unlimited money?
I'm on Sales Navigator at the moment. I don't think you need to spend any more money than Sales Navigator. It's in the UK, it's £60 a month. Even the one below that, which is £40 a month, I can't remember the name of it. It's just LinkedIn Premium. Is fine. All that I need on LinkedIn is the ability to see unlimited numbers of results. That's why I go for those channels, because I'm going to contact people on other methods. I tend not to use LinkedIn and mails as my point of contact. As my way of contacting. So those cheaper options are fine. If you're the type of person that needs in-mails, then go for Recruiter. That's fine. Personally, I don't think you need it. I don't think recruiters need it. I think they should be looking at other ways of contacting candidates.
Okay, but I'm talking about sourcing people right now. You said your first route is through Google. What are you using, Boolean strings? Is that what you're doing?
Yep. So use Boolean to identify names of people on websites. I'll use it to identify attendee lists at conferences or conferences where people might be going. I'll use it to find registers of individuals. What the registers of accountants are, or registers of lawyers, or is there any professional
How did you learn? How did you
groups?
learn to be? I know you're an expert at everything you do. How did you learn to? Can't you be a little happier? You're bringing me down, okay? Pep up. Now, you're peppy enough, but you're just not bright enough. I want to feel good, okay? Smile when you answer me. Okay, look, you're searching Google, and presumably you're going to get LinkedIn profiles. You wrote an article that said that LinkedIn is going to limit the number of profiles you could actually see through Google searches. Is that true?
Missed revenue, late releases, customer churn, those aren't just major business issues, they're people issues. On Higher Power Radio, we dig past symptoms to the root leadership, hiring, and process problems that hinders company growth. Real founders, real diagnostics, and actionable takeaways that you can plug into your business today. Peer lessons to fuel your company's growth. Subscribe to the Higher Power Radio Show and start plugging your people issues in your business today. Higher, H-I-R-E, Power, P-O-W-E-R, radio, R-A-D-I-O.com, or here on the Work Defined Network.
Yeah, well, it did at that point, which I think was last year. So with a free account, you can't see as many searches anymore as you used to be able to see. They've now started to limit what you can see through Google unless you're actually logged in to LinkedIn. So they've made a number of changes to that. Yeah.
Okay, so if you've got a free account, but you're looking at it at LinkedIn through Google, you're searching through Google, are they going to limit the number of profiles that Google is going to show you?
Yeah, you're not going to be able to see the results anymore through Google. Yeah, you can't see them.
Oh, okay. Well, Dean DaCosta told us he doesn't have to. I asked him this question. He said he doesn't have to see the results. He just has to see the little bit that that Google will show him of the key points, and then he can contact them anyway. That's his workaround. Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Nice one.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's up to
now,
you.
yeah. Okay. Well, let me see. I got a question. I know for some reason I'm talking about. I never know what I'm going to focus on. But LinkedIn requests. I keep asking everybody, and I still don't know what to do. I get today. I got a request to connect from some guy in New Delhi. He's an HR professional, and he wants to know what the job opportunities are in Canada. I'm surprised Indians don't already know that if you move here to North America, at least to Canada, you're going to be in trouble. Nobody's going to respect your designations. They're not going to, be interested in your experience because you don't have any local experience. You're going to have a hard time finding a job, and you're going to have to take a step back. Do I have to tell everybody that? Do I have to be a nice guy and explain everything to them? And secondly, this guy's obviously a very active networker, so I assume he's connected to a lot of people, but I'm never going to use him. Should I just press ignore? How should I handle that?
Yeah, I would just press ignore. It's what I tend to do, unless someone's got a specific reason, if they've told me why they're going to connect to me, and if they're out with a country that I operate and I work in. There's tons and tons of fake LinkedIn profiles trying to connect, trying to get your email address, trying to get access, using that email address to get access to other sites online. I think you need to play it safe. I think you need to build your network.
Be ruthless. In other words, be ruthless. Is that another way to say it? Ruthless?
Yeah, I would call it being sensible, but yeah, be ruthless. Yeah, just
okay.
Build
when you reject,
people that you're going to be able to use.
Don't worry about hurting their feelings. They might not even be real. Is that just like shooting people in a video game, right? Okay.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to have to go to an ad in a second, but did you say a second ago that Facebook is your primary way of connecting people? It went by so quickly, I wasn't sure I got it. Did you say that?
No, but no. I think Facebook. I didn't say that. Facebook is a really good way of messaging people, but it's not the primary way of contacting people. Connecting with people. No.
Do people, if you send them a message and they're not your friend, it goes to that, secondary listing mailbox or whatever. Do people actually check it? I only started checking mine this year on a regular basis.
It's become more common.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more common now. A couple of years ago, you used to be able to pay £1 or $1 for the message to get through.
Expensive,
Yeah, they took it away, and now they've changed it to this inbox. But more and more people are checking it. Yeah, absolutely. And you can work around it. You can find shared groups, shared friends, that kind of thing to work around that.
Okay. When you were listing the various platforms, you listed Facebook Messenger and Facebook separately, and my sponsor, Martin Snyder, asked online why you did that. Why did you make them separate platforms?
They are two separate platforms. So Facebook Messenger is actually a separate application from Facebook. They're two different things.
Okay. There's a straightforward answer.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna ask you next. I'm gonna ask you, what is Facebook remarketing? What is Facebook remarketing? But first, I'm going to do an ad, okay? Can you hold your horses for a sec? Okay.
Yeah,
Hi,
sure
everybody. Recruiting. Thank you, Billy. Just make yourself a little happier to help me, okay, while I'm reading my ad, okay? Just think about it for a second, okay? Now, listen, everybody. I got an email this week from a regular listener who said, Animal, it's time you add some variety to your ads for PC Recruiter. And I said, Marty, I know you own the company, but really, is this what you want on a radio show? I mean, do you want technical stuff on the Recruiting Animal Show? Do you want me to give people a lot of technical details they probably don't understand? Or do you want me to tell them that if you're a recruiter, PC Recruiter loves you? I mean, there's so many people out there complaining about recruiters, saying awful things about us. Don't you think recruiters like to hear something reassuring sometime? And if they ask me, how do you know that PC Recruiter loves me? Well, I'll say this. You know that PC Recruiter loves you because they make it to be highly configurable. Configurable. I know it's a big word, but you know what it means, that whatever kind of recruiter you are, PC Recruiter is going to make sure that it's good for you. You can be a solo operator like Paul Lipman, okay? Or you can be part of a big recruiting team in a big company. Whoever you are, PC Recruiter will configure itself to please you. That's why I always say, big or small, we fit them all. So check it out at PCRecruiter.net. PCRecruiter.net. And Martin Snyder, if you don't like this ad, you don't know anything, okay? That's a good ad. Billy, don't you agree that was a good ad?
That was an outstanding ad, Mike. That was an outstanding
Now the thing,
ad.
let me ask you though. You've got a list. You've got an article of things people should be checking when they're buying an ATS, an applicant tracking system, or a CRM, customer relationship management system. Are there certain things that, talking to the common person as I am on this show, are there certain things I could mention that I didn't in that, for instance? What would you say to the average non-techie about ATS? Because I got to tell you, that is the most popular question in the recruiting world. On my Facebook group, people asking it every week, and when they don't, Jerry puts it up there. What ATS should I get, right? He just does it for fun, but there's people doing it for real. What are the key issues for the ordinary person?
Do you know what people forget about is ask your recruiters, ask the people who are actually going to use the system every day, what do they want? What makes it a simple and easy system to use. Now, I've worked for small recruitment businesses. The last business that I worked for had 45 people. So, it's not particularly difficult to do that. But even in a small business, the biggest complaint I used to get from recruiters was that systems are too complicated, that they've got too many features that they actually don't need to use on a day-to-day basis. So actually ask your recruiters what functions do they actually use on a day-to-day basis. What systems, are they using what features do they actually want that the system
Well, tell me
doesn't have?
what kind of things, let's be brief about this, but what kind of things are often included that recruiters aren't really interested in, that, some person in the ivory tower, got sold on?
What do they not want? I think that some of the searching is too complicated. It's overly complex. There's too many advanced features. There's too many features that try and build the search for you. So actually you don't need a system to build boolean for you, because boolean's pretty easy. So why don't you just train your recruiters to do boolean?
I disagree with
and
you.
have a
I'm
system
going to be
that
doing
uses
an ad.
boolean? So
I'm going to be doing an ad in a few minutes that said dummies can't do boolean. That's why they should go and buy HRTool, because HRTool built it for them. Okay, so listen. What's Facebook remarketing? What's Facebook how did you learn to be a boolean expert? Did you take one of the courses?
I learned in university, bizarrely, when I was doing my thesis. So I learned how to use boolean when I was researching articles for my thesis.
Does that
my
mean you taught
second
yourself?
job.
Does that mean you taught yourself, or they had a class where they taught it to you?
I think they had a class. It was research methods. Yeah, they had a class.
Really? Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I didn't use it again until my second job out of university, which was when I started in recruitment. And our system, supported us being able to do that. The CRM we used at the time. So very, very quickly kind of got used to it.
Enough. What's Facebook remarketing?
When someone visits your website and doesn't actually do anything on your website, so doesn't apply for a job, you can use Facebook remarketing to then advertise to them in Facebook to try and push them back to apply for your job or take an action on your website.
Okay, so when they visit your website automatically captures what? Their email address or some information about them, even if they don't give you anything. Is that the basis of your next move?
Yeah.
This stuff that you capture?
It's Pixel. Yeah, Pixel. It does a thing called pixel tracking, so it tracks a pixel. Facebook knows that and then serves them an advert on Facebook.
What is the Facebook pixel? This is interesting. Let's make it interesting for the people who think they're not going to be interested. If you advertise on Facebook, you set up an advertising account, it offers you a chance to put the Facebook pixel in your website. When I remember the first time I went there, all of a sudden I said, what's a Facebook pixel? What is it?
It's literally a tiny, tiny image, small image that you put on your website. That's it. It's as simple as that. And Facebook knows when someone visits your website that they visited it, because they pick it up from that image, and it's a little bit of code that goes onto your website, and that's how they use it. But literally, it's a tiny, tiny, tiny image.
Okay.
1 pixel
and
by
that
1
image,
pixel.
Yeah, but that image, so what does it, so I go to visit, Candidate ID's website, right? And I don't put my name anywhere. I don't apply for a job. I don't apply for your, white papers or ebooks or whatever you're offering. But still, you find out recruitinganimal@gmail.com, whatever address I'm using, that grabs it. You get that. Is that what you're telling me?
Yep. So what it does when you access that site, Facebook, it sends a signal back to Facebook based on that little image. Because you've viewed that image, Facebook knows it pushes a signal back.
Okay. And so then you want to. So now, okay, here we are. You want to put an ad and direct it to the right people on Facebook, so you don't have to give them a list of people. It just automatically knows where you want it to go. I mean, how do you do that?
Yep, it automatically does it. You can also give them a list of people if you want. So you can give them a list of email addresses from your STEM or ETS that you want to serve, show the advert to as well. You can do that if you want. You can build custom audiences, so you can tell Facebook what audience you want the advert to
but
show
we're
in front
interested
of.
in this remarketing. So hold on, I'm dragging it out. Hey, everybody, I'm sorry. I'll finish it in a second. I'm not smart, okay? I need it spelled out. So now they've got this special category. I'm assuming you're telling me when you go to advertise on Facebook, they give you a whole list and they say, these are the people who went to your website and didn't do anything there. Do you want to send them advertising? And so you say yes. And then it hits those people who've already rejected you, who've already said, no, I'm not interested. It hits them again. Is that what we're talking about?
That's it. That's spot on. But it's not that they've said no. Yeah, it does work.
Well,
yeah,
sure they have.
It does work.
Sure they have. Sure they've said no. They went there and they left.
No, because it could be that you've just not given them enough information. It could be they need to see a little bit more, say, about the job, or they might want to see a blog, or they might want to see if you're working in an in-house recruitment team.
Yeah,
they might
you know
want
what?
to see some of the stuff in there.
I'm killing the show myself, spending 5 minutes talking about the Facebook pixel with no one understands, or even when I'm trying to explain it. What question? What's going to make you happy? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I think you wanted to talk about business development, so we can talk about that.
Okay, great. I do. Yeah, I do. I just got so many complaints after I got so many complaints after the show from Merlin. He said, "Oh, what were you talking about that for? That's not my business. I didn't get a chance, right?" So I go, well, maybe I shouldn't ask Billy that, but we'll talk about that in a second. I'm going to do an ad for my good friends over at HireTool. HireTual. I don't even know why they pay me for these ads, because they are so popular right now. HireTool, in case you've been living on the moon, okay, is a full-service sourcing tool. You tell it what you want, and it writes boolean strings for you. It's not like Billy just said, dummies don't know how to write good boolean strings. I don't know, okay? So you don't have to be you don't have to go to a Scottish university and get their specialized classes. This guy Billy, he wrote on his LinkedIn profile, my specialisms. I like guys, who create their own words, but I never heard it before. Anyway, you don't have to take a specialism course in Boolean strings, because HireTool creates them for you. And then it searches a whole bunch of sites, all the sites you want, Facebook, GitHub, LinkedIn, everything, okay? And then it gives you a list, and it ranks the people. These people at the top, they're the closest match to what you're looking for. It guesses, this is what I think the salary range of this person's going to be, and it tells you another guess, this person's probably ready to make a move. You should talk to this person first, okay? And so people are very happy with it. I mean, look, just today, rock star, ninja, super recruiter Amy Miller, she said on my Facebook group, I don't use LinkedIn very much, but I've been using HireTool a lot. Should I say it again? I don't use LinkedIn very much, but I've been using HireTool a lot, right? And look at Michael Krause. I'm almost done. I use HireTool because it's fast, efficient, and accurate. I highly recommend it because it will save you lots of time, okay? So there's a guy named Nintran. There's a man named Nin, N-I-N-H, okay? He's all over the place. He's on Facebook all the time. He's on Twitter. If you want to do a demo with this guy, just ask him or go to the site, HireTool.com. He will take your search. He'll do a search for you, show you how it works. He won't pressure you to buy. It's a lot of fun, and I advise you to do that, HireTool.com. Okay, Billy, could you rank that ad for me on a scale of 1 to 10? How good was it?
I think that was a good 8.5.
8.5? Well, what was I falling short?
Good solid 8.5.
Okay.
I think calling people dummies, I think that's maybe impacting on your target market there if you call them dummies.
Okay. You know what? There's a whole, in case maybe you don't know, you're in Scotland. There's a whole line of books called Recruiting for Dummies. David Perry put out Executive Recruiting for Dummies, Accounting for Dummies. Dummies is what most people know they are, and so that's actually a thing that appeals to them. Or there's also another line for idiots, okay, and for the more modest people like you want me to be, for beginners, okay, if you take it like that, okay. So I disagree with you. Dummies is a selling point. It's not a negative. You know what? I said you have a round head, and back in the English history, they had the Roundheads versus the Cavaliers. Am I right about that?
You know better than me. I don't know much about English history. So.
Oh, guys, I just knew you were going to say that, okay? Well, I don't know anything about Culloden or Scottish history either.
Oh,
okay.
I know Culloden.
So
I know Culloden.
Yeah, that's your own history.
That's Scottish history. Yeah, that's not English history.
Scottish history, yeah. You know what? Search is spelled with an E, not an A. So if you say search, you're obviously wrong, okay? Sorry.
I don't know what that's about, but there we go.
About, you know what? Yeah, people keep saying Canadians say a boot. They say Canadians say a boot. I never say a boot. Scots people say a boot. There's Scottish people. I told you it's a Scottish country, so they're I guess they've been listening to the people in a certain location. Southwestern Ontario has apparently a lot of Scots there, tobacco farming and stuff. More than anyone wants to know, right? Okay, but what can I do? That's what's running through my mind. Okay, does anybody want to ask Billy a question? Are we going to move into business development? Also, I did want to go through the candidate ID talent pipeline process with you, but we've still got, quite a bit of time. So business development, let's say, Jerry's not here. Let's say someone like me. I work on my own. I want to move into a new area. I want to work on executive positions in the automotive manufacturing sector. There's a lot of auto parts, like metal stamping companies and stuff in Southern Ontario. How would I use recruitment marketing to do that? And if something comes up for you quickly, let's do it. I won't drag it out.
Yep, sure. I think the first thing is it's really difficult to get jobs on through cold calling, through doing that now. And people, certainly in the UK and Europe, people don't want to be cold called. They want to be, they want a scheduled call. And the way to actually get that scheduled call is by starting to demonstrate that you know about their market and you know what is getting spoken about in their market, what's been spoken about at events, what's been spoken about in blogs. And if you can take what is going on in their market, if you can add something to that and talk to them about it and send them information about it, send them a blog about it or send them a video about it, then that's a really quick way of being able to build up relationships with people in your market without having to individually cold call, without individually having to
let me stop you. Just give me a chance. Blah, 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 blah. I told Alex the other day, listening is not such a good thing, okay? Don't let people ramble on, because I have to interrupt you. That's an important part of the interview and listening process. Interrupt the person when they've already told you enough and you don't want them to just go on and on and on, okay? So let me interrupt you. Yeah, okay, I told you right away, I don't know anything about that industry. If I have a job, if someone hires me and they tell me this is what I'm interested in, this is what you're looking for, these are the key questions, I can handle that and I can pick out good people as well. I can source the people, I can interview them, I can suggest this person I think is the best. This is the short list of the people. This is what I recommend. But right now, I can't write articles about the automotive industry or the metal stamping industry or how NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement, which is currently being renegotiated, how that's going to affect their business or their careers. I don't know any of that stuff, okay? Secondly, I don't know how to get it in front of those people. Can you solve those two problems you just sort of skirted over?
Hi, I'm Carmen Hudson. I'm the host of the Recruiting Book Club, and we're starting our second season. I'm so excited to bring to you another set of guests of recruiters who have written books. We are excited to have some very special guests this season. We've got Shally, we've got Craig Fisher, James Ellis, and quite a few other people that we're going to bring on board to tell us about what they wrote, why they wrote it, and maybe we'll veer off into a conversation about recruiting on all types of topics and subjects that happen in our industry. So I hope you can join us. I'm excited.
If you can't write, find someone who can write, because it doesn't actually
what?
cost a lot of money.
I can write. Don't miss the issue. I don't know anything about them. Should I just read the trade journals and regurgitate it? And regurgitate it for these guys who are already in the business?
Yeah, take it, because it demonstrates that you're not just a recruiter. It demonstrates that you're trying to learn about their market. So read about it, learn about it, give them a viewpoint, you've got an opinion on stuffed animals, so tell them what your opinion
Not stuff
is
I don't
on
know
something
about.
that's actually happening there.
Not stuff I don't know about. I don't have opinions about stuff I don't know about. I don't know why people would want to read articles from me about the automotive industry. I'm sorry, but that's where your idea seems to fall down to me, okay? If they want, I could write articles about recruiting, but that's different. Okay, should we stop talking about this right here and now? Where would I post those articles?
Because you've contradicted yourself, because you're going and you told me you'll go and read about it and learn about it, so you are learning about it, so you're picking up knowledge.
But not like a professional in the industry. Yeah, I'm a newcomer. How do I impress people who are already in the industry with my beginner's knowledge? I spent 5 hours reading a trade journal or a Wikipedia article, and rewriting it essentially. And these guys, what is this guy? He's in kindergarten. I've got a master's degree in my business. I don't see the connection there. I hear people talk about stuff like this and. What? If you don't feel confident in doing that, then find someone that does, because there's plenty of people who will write about the specialist subjects in the automotive industry. So fine, and it doesn't have to cost you a fortune. Find someone that knows the industry that you're talking about, and write for you, and get them to shadow write for you. And you can then. How do you find someone who knows a lot about the? How do you find someone who knows about the auto industry is just waiting for you to write an article? Go ahead.
Go to the automotive websites and find out who's writing the blogs on the automotive websites, and then contact them. They're all freelance. Okay, and then that's what they do. They're not employed writers. They're freelance. Okay. Freelance writers.
Then where do I post those articles, and how do I get them in front of people? Do I go to LinkedIn and find a lot of vice presidents and senior vice presidents and directors in automotive companies in a certain geographic area and connect to them and beg them to connect back to me? Is that what I do?
Yeah, that's going to be a slow burn, and you do need to take the time to build that up and do it. You can get good results from a small number of connections. When I ran my email list for about a year and a half, I only had about 500 people, 600 people on it, and got good results from that. It takes time to build it up. The other thing that isn't as effective with small numbers, though, is sharing stuff on social, on LinkedIn and Facebook. You need to have a really big network. Ian Hamilton, who was on last week, he's got a massive number of connections on LinkedIn. I think like 13,000, 14,000. So he gets good organic traction. He gets people lots of likes, lots of comments. I've got a smaller network, so I don't get as many comments. So if you've got a small network, then you probably need to spend a little bit of money advertising on LinkedIn, advertising on Facebook, just to get it
Advertising
started.
What? Advertising what?
Your blog that you've written, or you've got someone else to write.
Okay, so you don't post the articles directly necessarily. You post them on LinkedIn, but you also post ads on LinkedIn for your website. Even so, what is it? What's the ad going to say? You can post.
Well, no. You can post the blog on LinkedIn or Facebook and then boost it. So stick a bit of money, and then that will automatically. You can choose the audience that the blog gets highlighted to. You can spend as little or as much as you want, and LinkedIn and Facebook will push it out to that target audience.
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Now here's the thing, though. You guys in your talent pipeline, which we can talk about, you eventually, you don't wait for people to call you. If they're reading and clicking on all your stuff, okay, then you say, this is a person I should call. So at that point, if I think that, Joe Blow, who's the VP of metal stamping at company XYZ, okay, if he's coming to my website a lot and I know it, I should go out and call him then, right? Not wait for him to call me.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not strictly,
and that's what we do.
strictly inbound. It's not purely inbound. Don't wait for them to call you. You still, in the end,
No.
you have to cold call them.
Absolutely, and that's what we tell our clients that use Candidate ID. It doesn't stop the recruiter or the source are doing their job. Once the person's engaged, once you know the person's actually reading your blog and reading your content, it still needs someone to then pick up the phone and have a chat with them and have that conversation.
Okay, you can say the company again, because I know Adam W. Gordon is going to pay you depending on how many times you say the company name. Candidate ID. They're not paying me. They're not paying me. Adam Gordon was a good guest, right? Ian, I thought was a good guest last week, and now we've got Billy here, Billy Roundhead. Okay, I have to do another ad. Do another ad, Billy. Okay, hi everyone. It's Recruiting Animal again for PC Recruiter. PC Recruiter is part of a larger company called Main Sequence Technologies, and Marty Snyder, he's the CEO of both. That's why I talk about him, okay? And you know what? He's a man of the people. He's very accessible. He's always commenting on postings on Facebook. So if you want to ask him about applicant tracking systems, he's out there, right? And, I just said everybody's interested in applicant tracking systems and CRMs. Which one should I buy? Well, you can ask him, and you know what? He won't oversell you on his own. He'll recommend it, but he'll answer all your questions, right? He likes to talk about recruiting software. You can be sure about that. And he's a pleasant guy, even though he doesn't have any hair, right? He is bald. And he'll promote his product, as I said, but he won't, guys. When he started advertising on this show, he told me there's a lot of good recruiting software out there, Animal. I mean it, okay? But these are the things I think PC Recruiter does best. This is our competitive advantage, and he said it sincerely. So in case you don't know what the competitive advantage is, I'll just tell you very briefly. There's different kinds of recruiting. There's direct employment, there's temp staffing, there's headhunting, okay? Lots of companies say they make software that suits all of them, but PC Recruiter does it for real because it's very, I'll say it again, configurable. You can say that word if you try. Billy, I told you, I don't overestimate the ability of my audience. Configurable. That means that they'll make it fit your needs, okay? You can be a one-person shop. You can have 30 recruiters and sourcers. They'll configure it. They'll shape it to suit you. So go check out PC Recruiter at pcrecruiter.net and tell them Recruiting Animal sent you. And Billy, Billy he didn't send you, but he was on the show as well, okay? I got one more ad to do at the very end from another nice person, Nick Livingston. I'll get to him in a second. You know what? You are a fan of Block Spring. You know what? I didn't finish talking about that biz dev, but maybe if we have time, we'll come back. This Block Spring,
Yep.
What is it exactly? Dean DaCosta was the one, I think, who introduced it to the masses. He always talks about it, but, he talks very quickly, and I never figured out what it is. Can you tell us slowly what Block Spring is? And, for this humble recruiter, that people like myself who aren't geniuses like you and didn't go to Scottish University, although I went to a Canadian university, okay, but I took all the wrong subjects. Okay, but people, who aren't nerds, they want to know about Block Spring. Can you help us, Billy, please?
Yeah, I think it was Aaron Lintz that told me about it, first of all. Basically, what you can do is if you've got
but
one...
you're an insider. You didn't listen to me. I said Dean DaCosta, he gave it to the masses. I'm glad you gave Aaron. It's not Adam. It's Aaron Lintz, okay? You gave him a nod. He's maybe the guy who found out about it first and started talking about it to this secret circle. He wants to keep, just for your information, he wants to keep me out of the secret circle. And that's the truth. Said it in writing, okay? Even I forgave him, but only partly. Okay, but, the masses. Dean brought it to the masses. Now you have to explain it to the masses. This is your stage. Go ahead.
So if you've got one application on the internet, you've got another application on the internet, BlockSpring lets you connect the two applications together and use them jointly. It means you can easily do things on spreadsheets, download them, put them into a format that's really useful. So you can connect.
So hold on a second.
Email.
Wait. You know what? I'm going to cut this short. I won't drag it out because, it sounds like I'm going to have to. You said that connects to websites. It's meaningless to me. Are you telling me that if you've got a spreadsheet and you've got a website with information you want, BlockSpring helps you transfer the information from the website to the spreadsheet online, like the Google spreadsheet? Is that what you're saying?
Yep, some parts of BlockSpring let you do that. Some parts of BlockSpring let you build email addresses and validate them automatically. Some parts of BlockSpring let you search on Bing and pull the results into a spreadsheet automatically.
Yeah, that's a useless. We're moving forward towards an understanding of it. Sounds like you have to. You could have, I don't know, given a better example and a clear example. We'll leave it for now. You also like this IFTTT. I've seen the name mentioned for years, and I don't know what it does. Can you give us an example very quickly? In fact, you've got this thing of a Twitter hack. Using IFTT. I can read it from your website. I've got it right here in front of me. Do you want to explain it, this IFTTT, and, is it really going to help us?
Yeah, I don't use IFTTT anymore. I use Zapier instead. Again, Zapier lets you just automate tasks. So, for example, from Candidate ID, we can automatically if something happens in Candidate ID, then we can automatically push candidate information into a CRM system, for example. So that's one way that we use Zapier because it's actually linked to Candidate ID.
These are just too complex. These are not as simple as simple Chrome extensions that people can just install and Okay. What about Email Hippo? You're a huge fan of that, apparently.
Yep. Again, really good. Good way of working in volume. If you want to, in a high volume, come up with lots of different email addresses in a really short period of time.
I thought
it's not
what
100%
it is,
perfect.
you said it's an email validation program. So you've got the email addresses. You just want to see if they really work. Is that right?
It does that as well. Yeah, so it does both for you. We use Email Hippo, so when clients come to us with their stale crap ATS data, that they've not used for 5 years, we'll run their data through Email Hippo to check whether the email addresses are still valid or not.
I'm not promoting a competitor to hire tool, am I, by focusing on Email Hippo?
No, absolutely. Hire Tool's a fantastic, really, really good tool. Email Hippo is a different tool. Yeah. So.
Okay, different.
Very different thing.
Okay. Now, you've also got a bunch of tools. You say tools you'll like. SEMrush, Google Custom Search Engine, Canva, Hello Talent, Data Scraper. Is there something in there that you could, some dummy, okay? Use me as an example if you want to. It's a metaphoric term. That I can listen to you for 2 minutes and then go out and use it and benefit from it, Can you go through one of these
Hello
tools?
Talent. Hello Talent, Chrome extension. You install it and it allows you to capture name, first name, last name, company name, and job title from LinkedIn profiles and save it in a database. So Hello Talent, really easy, up and running within 2 minutes. Easy peasy.
Okay, but is that on the danger list with LinkedIn? Sounds like that. It might be, is it?
Nope, it's really, really safe. Works really well. The guys in France that run it have done a really good job at making sure that it still sticks to LinkedIn's terms and conditions. Okay,
let's talk about the candidate ID talent pipeline process now. You've got right behind you on your LinkedIn profile. You don't sound happy, Billy. I got to keep saying it. Like, what's your score? We only have 7 minutes left. I should have asked you. On a scale of 1 to 10, I don't think you're feeling more than a 5 about this show right now. I'd like to move you up to a 6. And there's an article I read that said you can tell a lot more on this phone about what other people are feeling than with video. Video is distracts you. So I have a good sense of where you stand. I'm going to say you're a 5. How can we move you to a 6 in the next 5 minutes? Talking about candidate
You
ID.
already I'm actually an 8. I am happy. Do you know? I just when I'm thinking, maybe I just don't sound happy. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
But
you know what?
I am
I have
happy.
to thank Billy. Billy is a tech guy. I didn't know whether to go with a Microsoft product or with the Google applications offering a few years ago, and I asked Billy, and he said, go with Google because you can create all these different email accounts for your different domain names, and they give you a terabyte of online storage space for $10 a month, so $10 Canadian, I think. So thank you, Billy. That was great. I really appreciated that. Okay, so
Very welcome.
candidate. Yeah, I don't know if you remember, but the talent ID, the talent pipeline process. You've got 5 steps. Identify your target candidates. Very briefly, how are you doing that? Just by regular
sourcing. Yeah, sourcing your own existing database, retargeting, referrals, advertising, all the normal ways we do it.
Okay. Then you create inspirational nurture content. I know Martin Snyder, my sponsor, made fun of that term on Facebook. What does it mean? Inspirational nurture content. I tend to sounds like baby food. What does it mean?
Do you know, people don't like employer brand content all the time. They like to read interesting stuff about your company. A good example for me, I like Spotify. Spotify are probably my favorite company, and the reason I like them because they send me really interesting stuff. They send me really interesting stuff about the bands that I like. They send me really interesting stuff about the music that I listen to, and send me statistics based on that kind of stuff. So actually send people some interesting content. Send them some insight. Send them something about their industry that they don't know about. We work with Specsavers, who are an opticians in UK and Europe. They send out optometrists information about leading optometrist guys, people who are leaders in their field, who are experts in their field. So send them out stuff that people actually want to read,
in other words,
that people will learn from.
You might have to go to some blogger, a specialist blogger, to hire him or her to do that for you. That's what you told me a few minutes ago, okay? Now, so you've
and
got
we do that.
target.
We actually do that at Candidate ID as well. So.
Oh, really?
Okay.
So you've sourced a bunch of people. You've hired someone to write the content for you. Now you build, that's step 3, a content map. What's that exactly? How about if I guess? Is that the recruiting funnel? You give them different kinds of information as they progress in their relationship. The more they read, the more you change the kind of content. Is that what a content map is?
The content map is what you're going to send, why are you going to send it, and when you're going to send it. It's as simple as that. And if you tick all those three boxes, the most important is the why.
You know what I explained? Listen, hold on. What I explained clearly meant something to somebody. I didn't really finish off what the difference of different kinds of information you're sending. At the beginning, it's more general, then it's more specific about the company, etc. Is that what you're talking about? Because what you said meant nothing. Okay. What's a content map?
Well, it's what you're going to send, why you're going to send it, and when you're going to send it. That's what a content map is. And the why is what you're talking about. Is talking about the funnel. So if you want to raise awareness, of your company and brand, that's a different type of content from the bottom of funnel content, which will be you want to convert that person from Joe Public into an applicant. So that's it's about the category. So you need to think about why you're sending things.
Okay, but the content map is essentially the funnel, right? It's a map of the funnel. Is that right? The progressive relationship and the different kinds of content you're sending someone as they get to know more about you. Is that what it is? Yep, that's it. Okay, let's not fight about it. Okay, well, hold on. Then you build a score. Number 4. We're almost done. We're at the end of the show, right? So you want to? I took us off on a diversion by arguing with you. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, everybody. 2 more points. Build a scoring model. Now, from what I understand, the more someone clicks on your stuff, the higher score you give them, and it scores the level of interest in your company. Is that what the scoring model is? What do you mean scoring model?
Yep, that's it. But different types of content will have a different score. So if someone just reads a blog, then that'll be a different number of points compared to if they read a job description. If they've read the job description more than once, then they'll gain more points, and that would indicate that they're more likely to be ready to talk about a job.
Okay, so if I was doing this on my own, right, I wouldn't necessarily, and people were coming, they actually bought into that blog that I hired. I'm used to writing my own stuff. I don't know if I'd have to get used to the idea of hiring somebody else. But let's say I had something, people found it interesting. They kept coming to my new automotive blog, and I wouldn't necessarily know who's coming there, how many times, what they're clicking on, or I wouldn't be able to do that without some special service, I imagine. That's what I was thinking of when you were talking about it. So here, you can identify the person, you can score their level of interest. The final point is the automated pipeline nurturing. Again, we see this nurturing. What is automated pipeline nurturing?
Hey, this is William Tincup, and you should know about the You Should Know podcast. It's a topical, fun podcast with Ryan, myself, and a guest, or guests, plural sometimes, and we tackle the most timely topics of the day. Give it a look, give it a listen, and subscribe. Thanks.
Basically, that means that'll help you decide what you then want to do next. So if someone scores really highly, then we can send an automatic email about a job. If they are based in a certain location, then we could send them a specific job based in that location. If they really like video content, so if they always always watch videos, then we can just send them out video content all the time instead of send them out blogs.
Okay, and the software, you don't have to do that manually. The software figures that out itself?
Once you set up the software to do it, it'll do it continuously for you. So you do have to set it up at first. It doesn't do it automatically.
Okay, I'm going to do one more ad, okay? But you can stay while I finish it because we're at the end of the show, okay? And think about any message that you'd like people to take away. Billy told me that, okay? You want them to say, I heard Billy said that on the Recruiting Animals show, okay? Just think about it, okay, while I do the ad, okay? Hey, everybody, Recruiting Animal here. For my newest sponsor, Honeit, Honeit. And I told you last week that I've been talking about it for a little while. Today I actually start billing them, but I didn't do that much work into this ad, but we'll see how it works, okay? Nick. Nick is my sponsor. Maybe if he doesn't want to pay for this one, send me an email if you don't like it, okay, Nick? He says, Animal, could you refer to Honeit as phone interview technology? He said, there's tons of web-based and video-based interviewing tools, but what makes Honeit unique is that it's centered around the phone conversations that recruiters are already having each day. Now, I don't understand, what his complaint is here. You go to the website, honeit.com, Honeit.com. You have a conversation with your candidate there. It's fully recorded, and there's certain key questions that are really important. You press a little button before you ask the question, and it records that, and you press it when you're finished talking about that topic, and it creates a clip. So when you send it to the hiring manager, whoever is making the decision about the candidate, the key stuff is already separated from the bulk of the whole conversation. And there's something else, okay, that I didn't know. A full transcript of the conversation is created, so it's easy to read if you don't want to listen, and it's searchable. You can search by keywords as well, okay? No more taking notes, Nick says. Never forget a detail. When you hear a great answer, share it with the hiring manager. Those are the clips he's referring to there, okay? Honeit, Honeit. Nick Livingston is the CEO's name. And, he doesn't have a round head. He's got a baby face, okay? That's his distinctive feature. Just, in case you're interested. Okay. Now, did you think about what your message is for the recruiting world? Okay?
Yeah, my message is don't send jobs by email. Send people content they actually want to read. That's my message to the recruitment world.
Oy vey. Okay, I'd have to flesh it out with you. But you know what? I'd like you to come back another time. I'm sure you've got a lot more stuff. You've got stuff I could drag out of you if I really wanted to, okay? Billy, after knowing you all these years, it must be at least 3 years that I've known you, I actually had a chance to talk
must
with
be.
you.
Yeah, must be.
Thank you very much for coming on the show, and it's kind of a unique show. Not one person interrupted. Usually they're beating me to, shut up and, get out of the way, let them talk. Jerry says every question I ask is stupid. He wasn't here today. You didn't have to go through all that. Billy McDiarmid. Thank you.
Was okay, Animal was okay, but the show itself,
same old thing.
As a recruiter, there's nothing I'm going to now take to my desk, and I am in a state of constant listening, learning, and applying. That's my thing. I got nothing from this show. I'm not going to do anything new. That's what I'm looking for in my learning phase of my career.